So we all experience it, right? That
Yeah.
feeling of just being flooded, all the noise, the notifications, everything demanding attention.
Yeah, that constant stream of input, it's relentless
And a
sometimes.
lot of us, we try to manage it. We try to filter things out, block distractions, maybe just step away entirely. We talk about mastering our senses.
Well, what does that really mean? Is it just about building higher walls, or is there maybe something more to it?
That's exactly what we're digging into today. We're taking a deep dive into a really fascinating ancient text. It's called the 10 Indriyabhāvanāsuttaṃ.
Which translates roughly to the discourse on the cultivation of the senses, a pretty direct title.
It is. And it offers this really unique perspective on how to truly cultivate our faculties. It goes way beyond just simple avoidance.
To something much more profound, really, like an inner mastery.
Right. So our mission today is to unpack the different ideas about sense cultivation in this discourse. We'll look at a method that gets, well, surprisingly critiqued.
And then we'll explore what the text calls the unsurpassed way, the ultimate method, supposedly.
Yeah, get ready for some aha moments, I think.
Yeah.
This might really shift how you think about navigating your everyday experience.
We'll be drawing straight from the source, laying out these different approaches clearly, giving you the key insights.
Okay, so to get started, let's set the scene. The discourse, it begins with the Buddha staying in a place called Kajangala.
Right.
And he's approached by this young man, Uttara. Uttara is a student of a Brahmin teacher named Pārāsiriya.
Okay.
So the Buddha asks Uttara, how does your teacher, Pārāsiriya, teach the cultivation of the senses? Pretty direct question.
And Uttara's answer is, well, very straightforward.
Incredibly so. He says basically, here, good Gautama, with the eye one does not see forms, with the ear one does not hear sounds.
Full stop. That's the method.
That's it. Just don't see, don't hear, shut it all down.
What's your immediate reaction to hearing that? It sounds almost like a modern sensory detox idea. It does, doesn't it? If you want less input, just stop the input.
Yeah.
Seems logical on the surface. But the Buddha immediately spots let's say, a significant flaw, a logical hole you could drive a chariot through.
Okay.
He points out, well, if that's the case, if not seeing is cultivated eyes and not hearing is cultivated ears, then wouldn't a blind person be considered perfectly cultivated in their eyes? And a deaf person, wouldn't they be perfectly cultivated in their ears? I mean, a blind person truly does not see forms with their eye. A deaf person truly does not hear sounds with their ear.
Right. It's a very simple, powerful point.
Yeah.
It completely undermines the definition.
Exactly. It's fascinating how he uses just pure logic to dismantle this rather superficial understanding. It shows that cultivation isn't about the physical inability to sense.
So it's not about cutting off the input physically.
No, it's something more internal, more subtle. And this observation, the text says, leaves Uttara completely silenced, embarrassed, slumped over, looking down, just dispirited, unable to respond.
You can just picture it. His whole framework just crumbled.
Totally shattered by one simple, undeniable observation.
Do you think we still kind of fall into that trap sometimes? Thinking that just ignoring something or blocking it is the same as actually dealing with it or mastering it.
Oh, absolutely. Avoidance feels like control, doesn't it? But it's often just avoidance. True mastery, as the Buddha is implying here, seems to require something else entirely. A different kind of inner work.
So what is that other way? Uttara's speechless, Pārāsiriya's method is shown to be flawed. What happens next?
Well, seeing Uttara's state, the Buddha turns to his disciple, Ananda.
Okay.
And he says something like, Pārāsiriya's teaching on cultivating the senses is one way, Ananda, but the unsurpassed cultivation of faculties in the noble discipline, that's something else entirely.
Setting up the contrast.
Precisely. And Ananda naturally asks the Buddha to please teach this unsurpassed method.
So now we get to the core of it. What is this higher form of cultivation?
Okay, so the Buddha explains it like this. When a practitioner could be a monk, could be anyone really experiences something through the senses. Seeing a form, hearing a sound, smelling, tasting, touching, even thinking a thought.
The six senses, including the mind.
Right. And through that sensing, an impression arises. It could be agreeable, like something pleasant, or disagreeable, something unpleasant, or maybe just mixed, neutral-ish.
Okay, so a reaction happens, like dislike or meh.
Exactly. When that happens, the practitioner should understand it like this. Okay, this feeling, this impression, it has arisen. It's conditioned. It depends on causes. It's kind of gross, actually, in the sense of not being subtle, and it's dependently arisen.
Recognizing its nature. impermanent cause.
Yes, and then crucially they reflect. But this is peaceful. This is refined equanimity, or upekkha in the Pali language.
So the goal isn't to prevent the impression.
No, the impression arises. The goal is for that arisen impression, the pleasant, the unpleasant, the mixed, for that to cease, and for the state of equanimity, this balanced awareness, to become established instead.
So you see it, feel it, acknowledge its nature, and then let it dissolve back into balance. Quickly.
Quickly, very quickly. The speed and, importantly, the effortlessness of this process is really emphasized. The text uses these incredibly vivid similes for each sense to illustrate just how fast this happens.
Oh, okay, let's hear them.
All right. So for the eye, seeing forms, the impression ceases and equanimity arises as quickly as a person with good eyesight opening and closing their eyes. Blink! Done!
Wow, that's fast. Okay, what about the ear?
For the ear and sounds, it's like a strong person snapping their fingers. That quick, sharp sound, and then it's gone. Effortless release.
I like that. Okay, nose.
Nose and smells, like water drops rolling off a slightly tilted lotus leaf. They just beat up and slide right off. They don't stick, don't soak in.
Non-clinging. Makes sense. Tongue.
Tongue and flavors. This one's maybe a bit graphic but effective. Like a strong person easily spitting out a ball of saliva gathered on the tip of their tongue. Quick expulsion.
Okay, yeah, definitely gets the point across. Body.
Body and touch sensations, like a strong person extending their flexed arm or flexing their extended arm. Just a quick, easy, natural movement.
In the mind. Thinking. Mental phenomena.
This one's really evocative for the mind. Like putting 2 or 3 drops of water onto an iron plate that's been heated all day.
They just vanish instantly. Sizzle and gone.
Exactly. They vanish, they dissipate almost immediately.
These similes are brilliant.
Yeah.
What really strikes me is, like you said, it's not about not seeing or hearing or tasting. It's about the speed of processing and letting go. How fast you return to that baseline of equanimity.
That's the key takeaway, isn't it? It's not suppression. It's not avoidance. It's this incredibly rapid, insightful awareness. You see the sensation arise, you understand its conditioned nature, and you allow it to cease without getting hooked.
Without the like or dislike taking root and pulling you off balance.
Precisely. It prevents the attachment or the aversion from really solidifying. Think about it in modern terms, like scrolling through social media. An image pops up, creates a feeling, maybe envy, maybe desire, maybe irritation.
Yeah, happens all the time.
The practice here isn't to just shut off your phone, though maybe sometimes that helps. It's about seeing that feeling arise, recognizing, conditioned, arisen, and letting it dissolve like that water drop on the hot plate, returning to equanimity almost instantly.
Instead of letting it linger and affect your mood for the next hour.
Exactly. It's a radical shift from being passively affected to consciously processing and releasing. Understanding the impermanence, not just intellectually, but viscerally, moment by moment.
Okay, that's a powerful model. But the discourse goes further, right? It talks about different stages on this path.
It does. It distinguishes between someone who is still training and someone who has fully cultivated these faculties. First, it describes the trainee on the path, the sekho.
And what characterizes the trainee?
The trainee is someone who, when these agreeable, disagreeable, or mixed impressions arise through any of the senses, they detest them, they recoil from them, they despise them. They're actually annoyed by these feelings cropping up.
That's interesting. They're aware of the problem. They don't like being pulled around by these feelings. But why is that still just a trainee stage? It sounds like progress.
It is progress, definitely. There's an awareness there that wasn't present before. They recognize these reactive states as undesirable, but the reaction to the reaction is still one of aversion, detesting, recoiling.
Okay. So they're fighting against it rather than having mastered it.
Sort of. There's still resistance, still negativity directed towards the experience itself, even if it's the experience of being hooked. It signifies an awareness of what needs to be overcome, but not yet the complete freedom from it. They haven't reached effortless equanimity yet.
Makes sense. So what's the next level? The destination.
That's described as the noble one with cultivated faculties, the ariyo bhāvitindriyo. This is the pinnacle of this specific type of cultivation.
And what can they do?
This is where it gets really remarkable. When impressions arise through any of the 6 senses, the noble one isn't just letting them go quickly. They have the capacity, the text says, to willfully choose their perception of the experience.
Choose their perception. How so?
The text lists several possibilities. They can perceive something normally disagreeable as non-disagreeable, or perceive something normally non-disagreeable as disagreeable.
Wait, they can choose to find something unpleasant, pleasant, or vice versa?
Essentially, yes. Or they can perceive both disagreeable and non-disagreeable things as non-disagreeable, or perceive both as disagreeable. It demonstrates an incredible level of detachment from the inherent charge of the stimulus.
That sounds almost like superpowers over your own mind. So what does this really mean in practice? It's not just pretending, right?
No, it's not about pretending or delusion. It's about profound inner freedom. It suggests a complete decoupling from the automatic like-dislike mechanism that governs most of our experience.
So if something happens that would normally annoy you,
The noble one has the inner capacity to experience that event without the arising of annoyance. They can choose to perceive it neutrally, or perhaps even find an unexpected positive aspect, or simply let it be without internal disturbance.
and the other way around, finding something neutral disagreeable, why would they do that?
Well, perhaps for reflection on the nature of suffering, or to counteract attachment to something subtly problematic. The point is the choice. They aren't bound by the conventional, conditioned reaction. They have agency over their perceptual lens.
Agency is a good word for it. It's not just about reacting less. It's about consciously directing how you engage with reality through your senses.
Exactly. And crucially, the text adds one more option for the noble one, perhaps the most important one.
Which is?
They can choose to avoid both the agreeable and the disagreeable interpretations and simply abide in equanimity, mindful and fully aware.
So they can also just rest in that balanced state, like the goal described earlier with the similes.
Precisely. They have the full toolkit. They can engage and reframe perceptions if needed, or they can simply rest in that peaceful, observant, balanced state, completely unmoved by the arising and ceasing of phenomena. It's total mastery.
True detachment, not from the world, but from the compulsion to react to it in fixed ways.
That's a great way to put it. Complete freedom from the tyranny of automatic likes and dislikes. A profound inner peace that isn't dependent on external conditions being just right.
Wow. Okay, so let's recap. We started with Pārāsiriya's method.
Which was basically just shut your senses down, close your eyes, plug your ears. Simple but flawed.
Right. The Buddha showed it doesn't work logically. Then we got the unsurpassed method.
Which isn't about avoidance at all. It's about developing this incredibly rapid, insightful awareness. Letting pleasant or unpleasant feelings arise, recognizing their nature and allowing them to cease almost instantly, returning to equanimity.
Illustrated by those amazing similes, the blink of an eye, water off a lotus leaf, drops on hot metal.
Yeah, emphasizing that speed and effortlessness.
And then the stages. The trainee, who recognizes the problem and detests being hooked,
Still reacting with aversion, but on the path.
versus the fully cultivated noble one, who has this incredible freedom. They can consciously choose their perception or simply abide in perfect equanimity, mindful and aware.
Complete inner liberation from reactivity.
The discourse, as you mentioned, doesn't just leave it there as theory. The Buddha tells his disciples, essentially, okay, I've shown you the path, now go practice. He urges them to find quiet places, meditate, and be diligent.
It's a very practical instruction. This isn't just philosophy, it's a training manual for the mind.
So the final thought for everyone listening. In our world, which is just absolutely saturated with sensory input, endless distractions, how could actively cultivating our senses in this unsurpassed way, not by blocking, but by developing this rapid, equanimous awareness, how can that help us?
How could it help navigate the sheer volume of information, the constant emotional triggers online and offline?
Right. How could it help us find clarity? Maybe foster a deeper sense of inner peace amidst all the chaos? It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Are we just letting ourselves be pushed and pulled by every sight and sound, every notification, every opinion we encounter?
Or could we learn to consciously engage with it all, developing that capacity to return quickly and effortlessly to a state of balance, seeking that true equanimity right in the middle of the stream?
Something to definitely reflect on. Are we merely reacting or are we truly consciously experiencing?